Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Do you remember what it was like whenever your mom would give you the evil eye? You just knew that if she were to say anything, it would be along the lines of, "You are getting on my last nerve." Only she would do it in that voice that was pretty scary. But just looking at her, you could tell what she was experiencing. This is what I mean when I say overwhelm does not happen to us. We do overwhelm. Anger does not happen. We do anger. Sadness does not happen. We do sadness. These emotional states and how they affect us physically. Because you can look at someone, just like mom giving you the evil eye. You can look at someone and tell that they're angry. You can tell they're upset. You can tell that they're situationally depressed by how they hold their body. There's something known as your physiology will follow your psychology, which is a fancy word to say your body follows your mind. But then after that, the mind will follow the body. So if the body goes along with the focus and the feelings that are being presented and goes into that state that represents that emotion, well, then that just further amplifies that emotion. But what if you were feeling upset? You were feeling situationally sad and you wanted to hunch over your shoulders. You wanted to put your eyes down as far as they would go. You wanted to breathe shallow. But instead of doing all of that, you went into what's known as a power pose. Throwing the shoulders back, holding the chin up about an inch higher, having your arms out to your side in a way that said, "Yes, I've got this." What's going to happen? Well, in about 5 to 10 minutes, the brain is going to go, wait, the body is not going along with our focus and our feelings. Something is out of harmony. Something is incongruent. So maybe we need to start listening to the body and what it's saying, and then upgrade our focus and our feelings to match what the body's doing, because the body is going to be the strongest predictor. It's not going to be the thoughts. It's not going to be the feelings. It's how those are expressed through the body. And if the body disagrees, well, then the two other areas will stop what they're doing and go, "Oh, okay, let's pay attention." This is what's known as the pain-pleasure principle. The pain-pleasure principle governs all of our emotions. And every single emotion, every single feeling you have seeks expression through your physical body. Every single one. It's what's known as the law of transmutation. And the law of transmutation is a fancy way of saying everything wants to show up at the physical level. I mean, if you think about rain, how it evaporates and then it condenses in the clouds until it can seek physical form again. Well, it's the same way with our emotions. All of them want an outlet through us physically. And so that's going to show up as either pain or pleasure, also known as pain or progress. Now, this does not mean that when we are in pain, we suppress, repress, and deny. Nope. It means that we need to learn how to use those emotional states to actually get us to where we want to be. There are some times when we do need to be angry. Anger is actually a very healthy emotion that says that a boundary has been violated. But for women, if you want to look at the one emotional state that they are not taught how to handle, it's going to be anger. So they learn, well, when I'm angry, I can shove it over to the side and just find ways to give more. Well, when you give dysfunctionally, you attract dysfunctional takers. So the idea isn't to give more. The idea is to say, who's trespassing in my garden of growth? And how do I let them know that this is not the way that it's done? But you use that anger in a healthy way, not to lash out, not to get even, but to simply draw boundaries that are going to work better for you in your life. Now, if there's one emotional state that men are not taught how to handle, that's going to be sadness. So what men do whenever they experience sadness is they find more ways to provide, not relate, not to connect, but to get out there and do. So women will give dysfunctionally, men will do dysfunctionally. This is where we hear about somebody becoming buried in their work and their home life is suffering for it. Again, it's the pain pleasure principle that governs all of your emotions. And when you're in pain, only 3% of the population is taught how to use the pain for progress. The other 97% is taught to get away from it, to avoid it. Well, when you're in avoidance, you're never going to be able to get to your goals, because then the mind is programmed to find all the people, places, and things in your life that are just going to tick you off and how you can avoid it. I'll give you an example of this. I was talking to a client just this morning who was going away for a wonderful weekend with some friends, but one of those friends can be a jerk. And instead of her thinking about how to draw healthy boundaries and no longer be triggered by the asinine behavior, instead she was thinking about all the ways that she could lash back at the person, all the ways that she could make them pay for the pain that she was in. Keep in mind, fear typically means that somebody needs to be punished. Yeah. When we go into a fear state, we want someone to pay for putting us there. And that's when you're being triggered in a dysfunctional way. So she and I took a portion of her coaching and looked at how she could draw boundaries, not for what they were going to do for this other person who was lashing out at her, but instead those boundaries were a container for her focus, her feelings, her actions, and they were basically allowing her very powerful mind to say, we're no longer going to be triggered by this. We're not going to go into the old story that someone has control of our buttons and they're going to push them and decide how we're going to react. Reactions are based on past pain. Responses are based on future impact. So you want to be looking at the stories you tell yourself. How much time do you spend in pain avoidance, and how instead can you use that pain for progress when you know how to give yourself suggestions in a way that you're going to accept them? If I can assist you with this, you've got two opportunities on how to upgrade your story. One is where I teach you how to place yourself in a hypnotic state and deliver suggestions just like I would be delivering for you. You can find all that information at drewdawnferguson.com/SH, stands for self hypnosis. But I will add on this course as a bonus if you decide to work with me privately in your Jumpstart Your Success package. That's going to be coaching, it's going to be hypnosis, it's going to be this course, and there will be another bonus I'll add on. If you want to explore if that's a good fit for you, go to 636-699-7791, either via text or phone call, and tell me that you want a consult. Okay. The pain pleasure principle governs all of your emotions. So you're either going to be in control or they're going to be controlling you. Now you have a choice.